The media has radicalized the people that are trying to kill my father. I've had to deal with that twice now in the last 2 months. I've had to have that conversation with my 5 young children twice in the last 2 months about someone trying to shoot their grandfather. You know, that didn't just magically happen. That's not him. That's a media-created fake Russia scenario. They ran with it for years. Even when it was disproven, they still ran with it. You know, that environment wasn't just created by Donald Trump.
So that is Don Jr. talking with Kaitlan Collins in the spin room after last night's debate. And he's saying there that it's good that we had a civil debate because the tenor of politics, particularly from the Democrats and the media, I guess, like Kaitlan Collins, is what led to 2 apparent conservative Republicans trying at various levels of success to take out his father. And he tries to, I guess, get in front of any of the obvious critiques of his points by talking about having these difficult conversations with his kids. No word on if he explained to his kids why he thought it was hilarious to joke about Paul Pelosi's getting his head cracked open with a hammer. I don't know if he had that talk with all 5 of them, maybe just the older ones. But there's, as you can tell, a few problems with his point. And here is Kaitlan Collins sort of setting the record straight.
Can I say, you can't blame, and everyone wants your dad to be safe. No one wants the threats against his life to happen, but you can't blame the media for those threats. There's been no evidence that's what drove those.
And allows people to have a platform to call someone literally Hitler every day for 9 years, it creates it. Okay. Whether you want to believe it or not, that's a fact.
But as you know, JD Vance once likened your dad to Hitler as well. He questioned if he was America's Hitler.
I just love that point. I love when Kaitlan Collins gets to have a little bit of fun talking to someone like Don Jr. that obviously, and for good reasons, she has no respect for. So that was a little bit enjoyable. But so saying that the media has been calling him absolutely Hitler, and so they're responsible for the violence. I mean, Donald Trump, as you know, is going around and calling Harris a Marxist and a communist and a fascist all at the same time. But if that's not enough, here he is. I believe this is just over this weekend. Here is what he had to say about Kamala Harris.
By the way, I'm outraged that she let in the savage who raped and murdered Rachel Morin. Kamala let her in. She murdered him. In my opinion, Kamala murdered him, just like she had a gun in her hand.
I mean, is that taking down the tenor of the rhetoric or whatever? He accused Kamala Harris of murder, just like she had the gun in her hand. So maybe Don Jr. didn't see that video, Sharon. I'm not sure that they talk on a daily basis, but what do you think?
Probably not. He also called her mentally challenged, I think. So that's their answer to gun violence. You know, she's unwell, mental health. It's ridiculous. Didn't he also call for a day of bludgeoning or something? I'm sure I don't have the phrasing just right, but he said he wanted there to be this one day where there is extreme violence. So it just, I think we're also still in awe of the absolute gall of the JD Vances, and in this case, Don Jr., to just say this. They're playing the opposite game. It's like, I'm an accused murderer, I'm on trial, I'm sitting at the defense table, and I get up and I point at the prosecutor and say, you're the murderer. I mean, it's just, but it's so low bar. It's not even creative. It's just the audacity of this whole thing.
Yeah, Don Jr. has the audacity of a guy who was born into even more wealth than his father was and has never had to achieve anything or be persuasive. He definitely has that. But, and you're right, Trump has recently talked about needing that one barbaric day for the police, a day of the long nightsticks, I'd call it, to, I guess, put the fear of death into every criminal or whatever. And so, look, if you're going to try to say that rhetoric has caused this, you are the worst messenger for that, Don Jr., because of what you've said, and in defense of maybe the second worst messenger in your father. Members make a difference here at TYT. You help make the show happen, and we see you in the chat with your loyalty badge. Click the join button to become a member today.